Hello investors, it's Chris here. I want to do a little after action review from the market today. I posted on Reddit this morning of some levels I saw in Tesla. Made a video over the weekend about some of the patterns I had seen and hope to release that video soon. Wanted to get these ideas out while they were fresh in my head. So, my instinct this morning, after looking at the charts during the weekend, was to buy a Tesla call. And I'm going to go here into the Webull app, kind of talk through some of my thought process during the day, mistakes I may have made, just some mindset things that I'm dealing with as a new investor, trying to keep my emotions out of it. Was taking a look during pre-market. I was looking pretty flat, and I saw that I had come down, which I knew was a possibility. I had some entry points set in my head, written down at 680, 695, and 700. I'm going to pull up my order sheet and make that a little bit bigger. You can see here, I made the Tesla purchase at 1041. So I wanted to kind of scroll through the timeline and see if I could have had a better entry. It fell about, it continued to fall after my purchase, so obviously not a perfect entry. Trying to keep the mindset that no entry is perfect. I still see that on the longer term. So we're on the 15-minute chart here, and I kind of wanted to go over the timeline. So, as you saw, my orders, my filled orders here, Tesla at 1041. Trying to keep the mindset that no entry is perfect. So let's go to, there's 1015, 1030, 1045. So my entry was on this candle here. Thought it had bottomed out. I considered even entering up here and held off. Still continued to trade sideways and down from there. My position currently, let's go to my get the positions tab a little bit larger so you guys can see. I entered for 1590. Its current price is 1118. It's down 30%. Not a good feeling. That was on my mind for the rest of the day, to be honest. So, a lot of the good advice I've heard from other YouTubers is to keep emotion out of it. If things get to where your risk management level says to cut it loose, even for a loss. I'm going to give this another couple days. I'm going to go back to the Tesla chart. This is the chart for the call itself. Still looks like the call itself is headed down. To be honest, I haven't done much analysis on charts for the specific options. I just recently found that Webull had this functionality. I saw it on my phone the other day when I was presenting to you guys. So I'm going to be keeping a closer eye on these for entries and exits. Do some more analysis on them, see how much information I can glean. So it's kind of an interesting chart to see what an what action actually happens on the option itself, as opposed to the actual stock. So I feel like there could be some useful information in these charts. Let's see if we can go back to the standard Tesla stock itself. Scroll out a bit. I'll put the link to my Reddit post in there so that the original lines I had drawn are there. I moved things around during the day, just trying to keep a read on it. I'm still confident in, well, now I just moved that line, but I have a trend line drawn there. I'm going to zoom out. Nope, it's broken now. Okay, as I was saying, I'll put a link to my original post because I've moved these lines around a bit during the day, just trying to get a better read, trying to see how tight I need to make some of these analysis as the action happens live. I had drawn several ideas on this chart over the weekend, so I wanted to keep it clean for today while the market was actually in action. Specifically moved this dotted line down. I had it further up. I believe I had it at the top of this candle. Make this a little bit larger. This candle back here, because that seemed like a good level from the past. Obviously, as I've said before, it seems that market likes to repeat itself, likes to use these places like that for support and resistance. I still have faith in this trend line. It hasn't broken down below it. So, still good uptrend. Not too much cause for worry yet. But like I was saying, that 30% down from my actual entry point doesn't feel good. So even if you have a correct idea, this could still move in my favor, but depending on how volatility goes, I could get some IV crush. I could get, it might not reach into the 15s again. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this again tomorrow if I have to cut it loose. Short days to expiration calls are always a risky move. But I was willing to give it a shot, given the technicals I saw. So, especially if it starts to break down below this trend line. Already 30% down. Similar rule of thumb for losses as it is for wins. 50%. Many people like to do try to take wins that are 2-to-1. That way, if you win twice the amount as a typical loss, you'll still come out ahead even with a low win rate. So I'm going to talk about what happened during the day, see if I can edit this together all to make sense. Yeah. On this 15-minute chart, I entered, as we saw earlier, at 10:40. So here's 10:45. Let's go to the 5-minute chart, make the numbers a little bit nicer for us. 10:40. It's back here. So I entered in this chart on this candle here. I saw that it had come down, had a decent size engulfing candle. It looked like it was headed up. Ended up continuing back down from that point. Like I said earlier, I had been watching it in pre-market fall. Had this parabolic fall. Popped back up. Hit the EMA as resistance. Got pushed down basically for the rest of the day. Again, I have this trend line. Turn the auto scroll off so we can move this up. Trend line I showed earlier. It's been respecting that. If we zoom out, it's been respecting that for several days. Zoom out even further, actually. Go to the daily. It's been respecting that trend line since March the 5th. So pretty good uptrend. We do have some resistance to deal with. We do have some resistance to deal with. So, gonna keep an eye on it tomorrow. Wanted to let you guys in. See what goes through my head during the day. Talk about that emotional control. And still figuring out how to deal with that on days like this. You think you see good setups, but you don't get the entry perfect. You can lose money, but there's also no such thing as a perfect entry. So if you have good technicals, you have a good company, make sure to cut your losses at your risk management, not mine. If I take a loss on this, that was my decision. Obviously, I hope not to. The market doesn't wait for hope. It waits for price action. So if the price action doesn't dictate that this will continue up, I might have to cut it for a loss. So I'm going to keep this video short. Just wanted to kind of go over that, talk through in this public setting about some of these thoughts. That way you guys could see my real thought process as the market happened. We'll see what the rest of the week brings. Stay safe out there, guys. Make sure to follow and subscribe. See the links below. Thank you.